All right, so get ready to dust off those old concert tees, because today we're going back to the time when metal got Funky.
Yeah, we're talking about that shift in the early 90s when some bands ditched the double kick for a whole new groove.
And we've got a killer episode of I Hate Music to guide us.
Oh yeah, Nick Wu chatting with Hunter Jin, the drummer for Ugalak, Dolvin Sculptured. It's gold. Pure gold.
And the timing couldn't be better. Hunter was actually prepping for Agaloc's Australia tour during the interview.
No way. So we had that pre-show energy. That's awesome. Must have made for a lively chat.
You better believe it. But enough about that. Let's dive into Hunter's picks, shall we? Primus's Frizzle Fry and Prong's Beg to Differ, both from 1990. What do you make of that?
Bold choices. Both albums that kind of signify that sonic shift we're talking about.
All right, so break it down for us. What is it about these two albums that screams, we're changing the game, man?
Well, he was really into how they both brought in this super infectious groove, like a hip-hop inspired groove.
So less about pure speed, more about that head-nodding, body-moving kind of vibe.
Exactly. Less double bass drum assault, more about the pocket. It paved the way for bands like Rage Against the Machine, you know?
Oh, totally. It's all about that bass and drum interplay. But here's the thing. Primus and Prong, they're pretty different, right?
Night and day. Primus is almost like out there, goofy even.
Right. And Prong is just this wall of pure heaviness.
It's wild, but they both kind of expanded what heavy music could be from totally different directions, too.
Like they both looked at the metal rule book and said, nah, we're good.
Totally. And speaking of rule breakers, we gotta talk about Les Claypool's bass playing in Primus. Hunter actually mentions their Lollapalooza performance.
Wait, the one where they covered Master of Puppets.
Yep. Talk about a curveball.
That must have blown some minds back then.
For sure. Claypool's bass playing, it's like he reinvented the instrument.
I'm picking up some serious mad scientist vibes just hearing you describe it.
Totally. But anyway, Primus, Pong. Hunter had another album on his mind from that era, Warrior Soul's Last Decade, Dead Century.
Oh, yeah. What's the story with that one? Why did it resonate with him?
So picture it. The late 80s, early 90s, big hair, even bigger corporations, people were getting kind of fed up with it all.
Yeah, there was definitely a shift happening. Culturally, musically.
And Warrior Soul, they tapped right into that raw angst.
Last decade, dead century. It's like a punch in the gut to the whole system, man.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got Primus bringing the funk, Prong with that industrial edge.
And Warrior Soul, man, just raw, pure energy.
Yeah, 1990 is really shaping up to be a pivotal year.
Oh, and we can't forget about Jane's Addiction's Ritual de la Habitual.
Oh, man. Ritual, what an album.
Right. Might not scream metal at first,
True.
but it definitely left its mark on the direction of heavy music.
Oh, absolutely. So many bands took cues from that sound.
That raw energy, lyrically pushing boundaries.
Musically, too, right? They were all over the place in the best way possible.
Totally. They weren't afraid to experiment. Darker themes, too. Addiction, sexuality, death.
It's like they were pulling from all these different genres.
Yeah, exactly. And that fearlessness, that's what makes Ritual such a game changer.
Gave other bands permission to do the same, be bolder, experiment.
Totally. And it wasn't just individual bands either. The whole scene was changing. Hunter actually brings up Soundgarden.
Oh, yeah. Soundgarden, man. Those riffs.
Right. Super heavy, but also melodic.
Pulling from everywhere. Metal, punk, even some psychedelic rock in there.
And that's the thing about musical evolution, isn't it? It's not always a straight line.
Totally. It's messy, unpredictable.
And it's usually driven by artists who aren't afraid to break the rules.
Speaking of breaking the rules, we were talking about the cultural context earlier, that feeling that things needed to change.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the music, it was everything.
Fashion, film, art.
It was a whole vibe.
Like the old ways weren't working anymore?
Exactly. It felt like anything was possible.
So you've got this perfect storm, right? People hungry for change, bands pushing boundaries, and boom, 1990 happens.
It's like it was meant to be. And that energy, it didn't stop there.
Right. It carried through the whole decade.
Influenced countless bands, shaped the sound of heavy music as we know it.
It's like a musical Big Bang, almost. Speaking of which, they even talked about Nirvana's Nevermind.
Yeah, how Nevermind landed right in the middle of all this. 1991.
It's wild to think about, right? Would it have had the same impact without these earlier albums?
Good question. Like, they paved the way, in a way. Primed the audience for something different.
And Nevermind. It brought that raw energy to the masses.
Changed everything.
And while Nirvana, yeah, they were huge, they were also part of something bigger.
A movement. A whole wave of artists who are like, we're doing things our own way.
It's like we talk about the big names, right? But we forget about all the bands that came before, all those
Yeah.
connections.
Totally. It's like a family tree almost. And finding those connections, it's part of the fun, you know?
For sure. It makes you think about how people even discovered new music back then. It was a whole different world. No algorithms or playlists or anything.
Right. You had to dig through record store bins, take a chance on something you'd never even heard of.
Talk about an adventure.
It really was that feeling of like, you'd see an album cover and you'd just know. That's the one.
I kind of miss that, to be honest. That element of surprise.
Me too. Stumbling onto something totally new, it just hits different.
It does. And it's like Hunter said, it's about the experience. Really letting yourself get lost in the music.
Yeah, he was big on that. Letting go of expectations, not getting hung up on what you're supposed to like.
Just letting the music wash over you.
Exactly. Even if it's a little out there, a little uncomfortable, that's where you find the good stuff sometimes.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah,
Right. Got to step outside those comfort zones.
100%. You never know what you'll discover.
Well said. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We really dug deep into that 90s metal groove, that's for sure. Those bands, those albums, man, it was a wild time.
Primus, Prong, Jane's Addiction.
Warrior Soul. Can't forget Warrior Soul.
They weren't afraid to break the rules, push the boundaries. And look what happened.
They changed everything.
Proved that musical evolution. That's a wild ride, man. You never know where it's going to go next.
And that's the beauty of it, right? The mystery. The possibility.
Absolutely.
Hey.
So next time you throw on some tunes, keep your ears open. You never know what connections you might find, what musical mysteries you might uncover.
Keep digging, right?
Keep digging. Until next time.
They didn't mention me once. What the fuck?
That was incredible. So how did you even make this happen?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the name of the website. I have to look it up. I found out about this from my friend Scott Generic. He posted about it on Facebook. It is called Notebook LM.
Notebook LM.
Yep. And I uploaded the MP3 of the Prong Primus episode.
Oh, I thought maybe you had to like copy and paste the text of it somehow.
No. I uploaded the MP3 of that 2-hour episode. Well,
Yeah.
like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it took about a minute. And in that minute, it gave me a transcript of the entire episode.
Oh,
It gave me that podcast of those two people talking
Yeah.
about the episode.
yeah.
And then it gives like a timeline. And so it's like 1990, Warrior Soul releases last decade. And then like trivia questions, like what does Hunter think about Primus and blah, blah. It's
Holy
fucking
crap.
insane. Like the podcast part blew my mind the most. Like,
Did you have to put a what do you call it, a prompt in or something?
No.
Or you just uploaded
I
that?
just uploaded the audio. That's it.
Holy
The
shit.
only thing I did. And it spits out that podcast thing. And it's so weird.
Insane.
I mean, it's like it's introducing our show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I was thinking about it and I was like, they mentioned Hunter Jin, which is almost right.
Yep.
Nick Wu, which is
Yeah.
almost right.
Yeah.
No Jason at all. Like, why is that? Is it because I don't say my name ever?
Must be
Because I'm like,
at the
holy shit,
beginning,
Nick
at
Woos,
the
here's
beginning,
Hunter
yeah.
again. I never
Yeah.
say Jason Walton, so
Yeah,
they never
exactly.
put
That's
it in there.
That's it.
And they attribute some of Hunter's, or some of my things that I said to Hunter.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But it blows my mind that in a minute, I mean, and these documents that it comes up with, like bullet points of like trivia questions and
Oh my god!
like talking points. Yeah.
Who? What's the use of this? A practical use of this? Like, would a teacher use this to like condense
Maybe.
a lecture or something? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to play with. It just, again,
The way they like modernized the way they spoke as well
know.
was very interesting.
Well, and like,
The lady had like, oh my god, she was just like a
Uh-huh.
modern girl, and the dude was just like an authority, an older dude, and that's so weird.
and they even do it where like the person will be speaking and they cut themselves off a little short and then they go
Yeah.
into the sentence like quicker. It's like,
Yeah.
it has like real inflections.
It did, and they kind of like did a little bit of chuckling as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes there was some laughing.
Yeah.
Holy
It's-
crap.
It's really,
Dude, so
really crazy.
what's gonna happen here? I could type in, create a 1-hour podcast about Warrior Soul and Prong, and it would probably do it for me within
Yeah.
seconds. Somebody could upload that and be like, "This is my new podcast. Here we go."
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of that, I did another little experiment
Nice.
because this fascinated me. I was doing this yesterday. I did one. What I did is I uploaded the Dark Sky Equilibrium entire record.
Nice. Can you say write a review for me?
No, I didn't have that, but the transcript was interesting. The
Okay,
transcript is like
so-
trying to decode the lyrics of Dark Sky Equilibrium, which there
I see.
are a few, but there aren't very many.
Yeah.
Most of it's chanting stuff. Most of it was just like heat, 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 heat. I'm tired. Heat, 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 heat. So this little AI podcast thing, this is two same hosts. This one's only about 2 minutes long. It's analyzing Dark Sky Equilibrium, my Moonbladder record.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do
And
it.
they talk a little bit about the lyrics. So
Okay.
here we are.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You guys know I love a good audio mystery, and this one's something else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Dark Sky Equilibrium.mp3.
You
Just-
left the title alone.
Right. Like what are we getting into here? What happens when you find a file with that name?
Yeah.
You gotta know.
You got to listen, right?
Yeah, you gotta listen.
So we're gonna listen to it. Let's maybe let's just listen. Audio clip plays 5-10 seconds of Dark Sky Equilibrium.mp3, focusing on the repetition of heat and heat up here. Okay, so right away that heat up here,
Yeah,
the way it repeats, it's like
it gets to you.
and not in a good way, right? Like it's what do you make of repetition like that?
Well, I mean, obviously repetition can be used for emphasis, right?
But this is different, you know? This feels like almost like a loop,
Yeah.
you know? Like it's trying to trap you in a feeling.
It's claustrophobic almost.
Yes.
Like you said, you're trapped. Like there's all this weight. And then you add that title, Dark Sky Equilibrium.
Right.
It's like symbolic.
It is, because dark, that's the unknown, fear, all that.
Right.
But equilibrium, that's balance, that's peace. It's like they're fighting those two ideas.
And that's in the audio too, that tension.
Exactly.
But there's other stuff in there too, right? Like this back show, I'm tired.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was finished.
Head.
And then there's this whole get the broad eyes of head
Mm.
and get the product, get the head.
It's strange.
What is that?
It's like pieces of something,
Yeah.
like puzzle pieces all jumbled up. It does make you feel uneasy, yeah. But it makes you wonder what they were thinking.
You can't help but try to make sense of it,
Right, exactly.
especially with the get the head repeating.
Oh, absolutely. Like someone's trying to grab hold, trying to understand, but everything's just out of reach.
And the way they use the words, it's like we're so used to language meaning something specific.
We are.
But here, it's like they're playing with that.
Yeah.
It's familiar, but in a way that just makes you more uneasy. You do a lot of sound design. How does something like this, messing with language like this, how does that hit you?
Man, it gets under your skin. Your brain wants to make those connections, and when you can't, it's unsettling. It really is. Like a funhouse mirror, but with words.
That's a great way to put it. A funhouse mirror, but with words. This whole thing, this whole deep dive, it's like we've been in one of those, just trying to find our way out.
It really is.
There's so much there, so much open to interpretation.
It really makes you think about the power of sound,
It does.
You don't always need a clear story, right? Like Dark Sky Equilibrium, it gets in your head even after it's done.
It sticks with you.
It does. It really does.
So last thought here for everybody listening. What kind of art, what would really capture this feeling? A painting, a dance, maybe even a story.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. Think about that, Nick.
I have so many thoughts. That was fucking crazy, dude.
Isn't it crazy?
I mean, you can tell that something listened to it, analyzed it. I don't know how they did that. They analyzed it. They knew that it was abrasive, or they knew that there was a lot of weird changes or something, and it tried to put words to that. But the thing that fucked me up the most is that this podcast and her podcast person and their host and the lady, that's a formula. Podcasting has become a formula.
Yeah.
And it's something we've all become used to now.
Yeah.
that this back and forth
It's the
between
back and forth, yeah.
between these two subjects, which is what we do as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's
This is
weird.
where we need to stop this whole fucking podcast because
'Cause it's-
we can't be part of this formula.
Yeah.
Unless we're doing something different. What's the point?
Right.
Seriously.
Isn't that so weird?
It's over. We're done.
We're done.
Hey, I took
this
our
is it.
jobs, dude.
The thing that's crazy to me is like
my
it's assuming these lyrics that don't exist. Like heat. And like get the head, get the broad head, get the product. Like trust me, I am not saying get the product anywhere in that.
But they tried to analyze it based on that.
But there's some actual like honest to goodness insight in there too.
There is,
like dark sky equilibrium, and like they actually like go into that title. Dude,
it's so weird, man. I don't know. It's almost like it's almost like if you're talking to somebody, they're paying attention to your words, but not thinking about what the words mean almost.
Right.
They're just repeating back to you what you already just said to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, kind of. Yeah.
It's just so weird. And you can tell when you're talking to somebody that's doing that, you can tell that that's happening and it's unnerving almost.
It is. It's just like
because they're faking that they're pretending, they're paying attention to you. They're faking that that you're interesting to them, but you know, and deep down they want to get the fuck out of there really or something, you know?
They're just like, it's like in their ears and then they're just like,
Right back to you, robotic. This is how I respond. It's almost like an autistic person learning how to talk. Okay, right now I nod because the person said something interesting, and right now I say, "Oh, that's cool," in response to what they. It's so weird, dude.
It's so weird, and having, like you mentioned earlier, like having those like modern inflections and like you know, like
those are programmed in somehow.
Yeah, the guy is even saying things. Oh yeah, like.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a pause and stuff, and the way he delivers. So do you think that just comes from the AI analyzing so many hours of audio and just coming up with that?
It must be. I don't know
how it works.
I don't know, but I mean, like Dark Sky Equilibrium, it's so noisy that it's bizarre to me that it like grabbed anything out of there that was usable whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, it made up stuff, obviously, but still, like, even having anything made up, like, they're inferring words coming out of these things that aren't words, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how did they do that?
Yeah.
There must be an analysis tool that's knowing that it's darker music. It's, you know, somehow it knew, like, it created some talking points out of your music somehow.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the technology, I guess, but.
I don't either. I have one more. It's about 2 minutes long.
That fucking blows my mind, man. This is all done this notebook thing, huh?
Yeah. Let me look at the name again. Notebook. What is it? Notebook LM. Yeah. Just Google Christ. Notebook LM. But you literally they call it a source, and you upload a file. I think it can be an image or an audio file or a text, and it'll do. Let me see here.
It always creates this podcast kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, you have a bunch of different options, and then you can tell it like what you want it to do. But it gives you an option of making it an FAQ, a study guide, a table of contents, a timeline, and a briefing doc. Yeah. So I have
note-taking and research assistant.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
You could like do anything with this, really.
Fucking crazy, dude.
I have one left, but there might be a little bit of a spoiler if I play it because it's a Dolvin demo.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's going to be similar to the last album, probably.
It mentions the song.
Oh, it's going to mention the titles?
It would mention the song title.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
But we're not going to hear any of the music, though.
Nope, none of the music.
Okay, good.
Although that is an interesting point because if you listen to the Moonbladder one, they do say we're going to listen to a second, and then you can hear like this weird like little glitch. It's like
nothing happened.
Yeah, it was supposed to play a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that happens here too, where they're like, let's listen to like a second, and it's like this weird.
Like, is it maybe you put it in your program and then you actually add the?
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't do it for you.
Yeah.
So I got a summary of this song too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
The only spoiler is the song title and like a little clip of a lyric, but no actual
Okay,
music.
that's all right.
Okay. Oh, I gotta share it again. I'll get used to this sharing stuff one of these days. Okay.
What'd you call me?
I called you Sharon. Okay, here we are.
That's an old name. Nobody uses that anymore.
That's true. So this is one on we're currently wrapping up a new Dolvin record, and
Yes.
this is based off of a demo of an unreleased Dolvin song. Here we go.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's dig in.
Today, we're going sonic. We've got this musical piece, Sun-Bleached Stone, and let me tell you, the lyrics are dense. It's like every phrase is packing some serious weight. Thankfully, you brought your metaphorical pickaxe, right?
You know I did.
Yeah.
Plus, I got my hard hat on, ready to uncover whatever's buried in these lyrics.
All right, safety first. So should we just hit play and see what shakes loose, or...
Let's hear it.
Okay, let's do it. Sound of music begins. Man, even just those first few lines, you get a feel for the mood, huh? It's definitely not a beach party, you know?
No, definitely not.
Uh,
I'm already feeling this weight, this heaviness, and that word heat right from the start. It's like this oppressive force that just
There's
hangs
no
over
heat.
everything.
yeah, it's like way more than just weather. You know what I mean? There's something kind of menacing about it, the way it just keeps coming up again and again.
It's like you said, every time it comes up, the weight gets heavier. The repetition, it emphasizes this incredible intensity, both physical and emotional. And it really makes you think about that title, Sun-Bleached Stone. We're talking about something that's been worn down, exposed, almost bleached bare by this relentless heat.
That visual, I mean, whoa. It makes you think about, what kind of environment even is this? This is hardcore,
It's a
whatever it
cemetery.
is.
Right. And it makes you wonder, what would it be like to exist in that kind of landscape?
Yeah.
Day after day?
Yeah.
And how would it shape you? Shape your experiences, your outlook?
Exactly. Is this place even on Earth, or is it more of an internal thing?
Yeah.
I'm also hung up on that line about the feel of grass beneath the narrator's feet. You've got all this sun-baked, bleached-out imagery, and then grass.
It's such a sharp contrast, isn't it? You've got this harsh, unforgiving environment, and then this little burst of something that feels, well, almost hopeful.
Right, hopeful, alive, like a little reminder that even in the most desolate places, there can still be life.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks to the resilience of the human spirit, our innate need to seek out those little glimmers of beauty and connection, even in the darkest of times.
I like that. There's a lot to unpack there. And then, whoa, things take another turn with that word hardened. Feels like the narrator's been through the ringer, right?
Totally. It suggests that they've been through something transformative, that they've had to adapt and toughen up to survive in this intense environment.
Definitely. It's giving what doesn't kill you makes you stronger vibes. But in a good way, maybe. It's kind of empowering, too. And speaking of empowering, we can't forget that line about the awakening spirit fleeing from shadows. Talk about a powerful image.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, that speaks to the idea of self-discovery, of leaving behind the darkness of the past and stepping into the unknown. Even if that unknown is as harsh and unforgiving as the sun-drenched landscape described in the song.
Totally. It's it's scary out there, but you've got to break free from whatever's holding you back and embrace the journey.
Okay, but hold on. Things get kind of heavy again with that phrase, visitation of the dead. And then there's the bit about a summertime ritual. I don't know why, but those two together give me chills.
Yes. Chills for sure. And I think it's because those two ideas together point to something much deeper than just a literal gathering, right? It feels ancestral, like something passed down through generations.
Yes, ancestral, exactly. But there's this sadness, too. Like, whoever these dead are, they're not just forgotten figures from the past. They're still very present in the narrator's life, in their thoughts, in these rituals. Yes, and this is where the music, the way it's structured, becomes even more powerful. That line you mentioned earlier about the stones, it comes right after those verses about the dead. Sun-bleached stones, withered and old fave. Suddenly storms another year gone by. It's like, boom, time is relentless. The seasons change. And life ends. But there's also this sense of renewal, of starting again.
Wow. You just connected the dots there, didn't you? Loss, time, tradition, they're all woven together and it's heavy stuff. No wonder the narrator is looking inward, trying to reach myself. They're searching for answers in the midst of all this.
Exactly. And I think that line, screaming silence, perfectly captures the internal struggle of trying to make sense of it all. It's like this deep, agonizing yearning to express something, to cry out, but feeling completely unable to.
Ugh, that line gets me every time. It's so raw, so vulnerable, Especially when you consider everything else the narrator's dealing with, the environment, the loss, the weight of tradition. And it's all there in that phrase, broken in the sun.
Absolutely. It's like they've been laid bare, stripped down to their core by the heat, the grief, the sheer weight of existence, and yet there's this strange beauty in that vulnerability too.
So how do we even begin to sum this up? It's like we've uncovered this whole archaeological site of emotion, loss, resilience, the passage of time, tradition. It's all here.
It is. It's a masterpiece of using these concrete images, the sun, the stone, the grass, to explore these really abstract universal themes. And I think that's what makes it so powerful. We might not all live in a sun-baked wasteland, but we've all felt the sting of loss, the relentless march of time, the yearning for connection.
It's amazing how music does that, isn't it? No matter who you are or where you're from, there are just some things that are universally human. We feel them in our bones.
Absolutely. And Sun-Bleached Stone, it doesn't offer easy answers. If anything, it leaves us with more questions than when we started. But I think that's okay. Maybe the real journey is sitting with the discomfort, with the unknown, and finding our own meaning in the spaces between the notes.
Man, I think that's a good place to leave it for today. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much to uncover.
Always.
For everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Dude,
that's fucking unbelievable. If I had heard that as a real person talking about that, like almost word for word, there's a few weird things they said, but mostly if I had heard that on a podcast, I would have felt they really understood what I was saying in those lyrics.
I know.
I would have been like, this person is like my new best friend. This is fucking amazing how they listened to it so closely and they figured it out.
They totally understood it. I mean, literally, that is an MP3 of a rough mix of a demo.
Yeah.
There's no lyrics
Holy shit.
uploaded. It's just
Nope.
them
You
listening
didn't send
to the
them
singing.
the text file or anything.
Nope.
They analyzed.
Just the audio.
They made a mistake here and there with like them or they what they thought the lyric was, but it wasn't what it was. But holy shit.
But still, like the concepts and the themes and like reading into like the part that blew my mind was like comparing the grass under your feet to the sun-bleached stone, like the dichotomy there and like the hopefulness and like I was like
the overcoming loss they mentioned and like this ancestral loss that we all feel and how that's still part of us and alive. Those people are never forgotten. What the fuck?
Yeah. Literally from
oh my god.
Literally from a demo that I uploaded. Like a
couple weird things
piece.
Or like the heat thing again. Heat.
Yeah.
That word heat, which came up on yours as well.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's like a I was going to say a guitar, but there's no guitar on Moonbladder. There must be some kind of...
there's a strung or like there's like a... Yeah, there's some note.
There's got to be some kind of sound that they're interpreting as heat.
Yeah, exactly.
But...
And the way she says vibes. It's just so modern and funny.
And then, she said it's giving something too, like very, very modern things. But really, I mean, it is remarkable. Like that would be a better review than a lot of like actual like reviewers would give.
If I saw that review, I'd be like, dude, fucking, you're the best.
They nailed
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I don't really understand. You know, if like Metal Maniacs started doing that, maybe they have. We don't even know, but
yeah, I mean,
their viewers would be happy. Every artist would be happy.
Yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily be honest all the time because it's just analyzing lyrics, basically. I guess.
Well, it'd be a little inaccurate here and there.
Yeah.
Well,
they'd still need one editor to do it, maybe.
Right. Yeah. It's
some things.
It's fascinating though too, and just the audio aspect of it just really. It gives me vibes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like how like the main guy, the man, he has like these pauses here and there and he did it similarly in yours as well. You could tell they've uploaded this formula or whatever. But, so after you hear a few of these, you'll know it's AI, but when you hear it for the first time, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah.
The first time I listened to it, I was surprised at how realistic it was, but the more you hear it, like it still is realistic, but you do hear more of the formula and more of like the repetition, but still it's really fucking remarkable. Like if I turned on the radio and heard that, I wouldn't know it was AI unless I listened to it for a long time. Then I might be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of feeling something's off here.
Yeah, exactly.
But
isn't the the images are like that too, right?
Yeah.
At first glance, it's like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
You start looking at the details of the image, you start seeing tons of mistakes.
Yeah.
You start seeing the fingers are all fucked up, or like the walls aren't straight, or whatever whatever the image is.
There's 6 fingers on each hand or something like that.
AI can't do fingers very well.
No, it's funny. The fingers are like a huge roadblock for them.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Yeah, so I just stumbled across that because of Scott, but I really want to play with something that will make music from some kind of prompts. So
they're out there, right? It's out there.
I've never seen it, never even heard anything made with a prompt like that, I don't think. But that would be
AI music creator. I'm just Googling that at the moment.
Yeah, do it.
Udio, AI music generator. A heist planned by and executed by a group of cats, spy jazz, bossa nova, search, create. Create a song, just describe it. Create in one click.
Really?
Go to this right now, udio.com.
How do you spell Udio?
UDIO.com.
Okay.
And type in something, man. Let's just see what happens.
All right, cool. Let me get the share going on.
Their example was a heist planned and executed by a group of cats, spy jazz, or bossa nova. Yours says the secret meetings of retired superhero capes, symphonic. What the fuck? Man?
Okay, well, obviously we should do. You want to do death metal?
Yeah, just do a death metal. I don't know. Death metal bossa nova, or mix 2 genres or something weird.
Death metal. I was gonna say jazz, but that's like been done a million times. Death metal.
Country or I don't know.
Country.
All right.
Death metal country. About paperweights.
Okay.
I'm not great under pressure like this. I'm freaking out.
No, I know it's hard to create. We might have to log in or something.
I'll just try to log in with Google and see if it works. Sure. I'll do this.
Sorry, dude. You gotta log in.
Can you still see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it looks like I have to do it again. Okay. Death, metal, country, music. About. How about squirrels?
There you go.
That might be better than paperweights.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Create. Okay, so on the right there, it's kind of making, just like the AI images, it's coming up with some options that you're gonna get to listen to. Looks like those 3 are already finished.
Okay, so the first one is there's a cover too.
Yeah. Okay. They created a cover. They gave a title to it.
Okay, should we listen to "Burden of Despair"?
Yes.
Here we go.
Great title. Great title.
Hello.
Okay. Oh, go back to my creations, and then click on the image. It looked like it was about to hit play. Yeah, right there.
Cross these breakaways we bear, points and dreams that no one dares, amongst the lost and creaking bones. Living in shadows, glowing out the light, through the paper chaos, waging our fight. Bound by the heaviness, dying to the earth where hope is gone, just not from bound. Cross these breakaways we bear, points and dreams that no one cares, tangled in defeat, lost the crows.
Okay.
I didn't hear the lyrically anything different.
I couldn't hear the lyrics. I mean, I couldn't understand them.
Yeah, I couldn't understand them. And plus, there was no country in it, so maybe the thing's weird. But that fucking came up quick, dude.
Yeah, well, let's check out Weights of Desolation. This one.
Or Chaos Among the Trees might be even best,
Okay, let's try that one first.
Yeah.
Chaos Among the Trees.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Jori in the shadows, send of fury flies. The breath are in the skies, haunting day and night. Evil in their tiny eyes, dancing teeth and glides in the quiet of the ones they struck right. Scrolls of destruction, chaos in the trees. Lords of
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, so
I heard squirrels and chaos in the trees.
Yeah, scrolls of destruction and chaos among the trees. Yeah. Okay, we got to do Nature's Reckoning real quick.
Okay.
'cause
Okay.
This is really interesting.
Dude.
Wow. That was good. That was like
That was pretty good.
That was like a Gothenburg style or something.
Yeah, it was. That was fucking awesome.
I think I heard squirrels in there too. Okay, we have one left. Let's do this one. Weights of Desolation. Here we go.
The weights of iron, chaos in disguise, holding down the papers, the pain naked lies. In this world of color, the madness resides. The sturdy hold of fury, the secret denied. And the ways of doom, pressing down your fate. In the land of chaos, making chaos state. And the ways of doom, holding back the tide. In the metal storm, nowhere left to hide.
Wow.
Unbelievable, dude. I didn't hear the country music part, but
No, I didn't
Jesus.
either.
Death metal about squirrels was what that was.
I mean, I definitely heard the squirrels in like two of them, and I believe it was in the other ones too. But yeah, it was like a little record cover even. And
Yeah.
is there like a lyric or anything?
Download.
Add to playlist.
Generate video. Jesus
What?
Christ.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Ah, look at that cover. Oh, so he's pushing generate video. He's preparing a video. Unbelievable, dude. Oh, here's a 30-second video.
Oh my God, here it is. You
Yeah,
can
let's
see
listen.
that, Nick?
Yep.
Okay, let's check
Turn
it
on.
out.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the...
Jori into shadows, shadow fury flies. The weather in the skies, watching day and night. Evil in their tiny eyes, dancing in the glides. In the quiet of the ones they struck right. Scrolls of destruction,
Chaos in the trees.
Gods of chaos, tearing through the breeze. Scrolls of destruction,
Terror in the dance.
marching through the forest for ruthless events.
Dude, what the fuck?
Terror in their dance.
Wow. So for people that are listening to the actual podcast, you lose
My
some of
God.
that. We're actually experimenting now with actually videotaping these podcasts as well. And you will be able to see more of what we're doing on our computers, like that video, if you go to our YouTube channel. Yeah, that is...
It created a lyric video for us.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I was thinking it was going to be like an actual video.
Yeah, me
but
too.
It was a nice lyric video, but you can read the lyrics. It's definitely about squirrels, and it rhymes.
Damn, dude. It's going to put us out of business.
I kind of want to make a AI record now for sloth or
I
something.
mean, just say that it's you. Nobody will know.
Yeah, nobody would know.
No, don't do that.
No,
Don't
I'm
do
not going
that.
to do it. But that's...
This is where it comes to the gray area. You can't disguise this shit. You have to admit it. If you're on a
Yeah.
Ozempic, you got to tell people, just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I didn't do this by working out.
Right.
I wrote this album. Oh, Nick, you didn't even have a band created, and now you have a new album a week later?
Yeah.
I did it on AI, dude.
Yeah.
I did it on AI.
AI.
You have to say it.
Yeah.
Because you'll
Man.
get discovered, and then you'll get fucking, I don't know what would happen.
You'd be a millionaire all of a sudden. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, though. That's
I can't
really
believe it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Squirrels in the trees, man.
Terror in their dance.
Something about their not gnashy teeth, but something about their teeth, too.
Their beady eyes, too.
Yeah,
They're
evil
small
eyes
beady.
and yeah. Fuck. That's pretty great. Well, I'm glad you thought of doing that because that was awesome.
Well, I'm glad you thought of doing this whole thing. That's blown my mind a little bit. I think we can discuss this in a longer format at some point.
For sure. I stumbled across that thing yesterday, and I wanted to play you those little podcast summations. But AI, it's a big thing right now, obviously, and
Yep.
I'm curious what it's going to mean for artists and musicians and things like that.
It's a little scary if you think about it, but it's also maybe I don't know. The good uses of it are maybe in commercials and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a good use, but it would, save these companies a lot of time and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of money. They don't have to hire an artist, but that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up too. So I don't know, man. It's not really that much good. Like, I don't know the good spin about this.
About this application, I don't know if there is one really. I do know that a lot of people are excited about AI technology and like discovering cancers and things like that.
Yes.
Which apparently is like the really good use for it. As far as the arts go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be one of those things that we're not going to really know until later,
A guy could be like, have no musical talent and be like, oh, I'm going to put out an album, dude. I mean, I wrote the prompt, so therefore I wrote this.
Right.
Yeah. Is he the one that created it because he wrote the prompt, or?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is an extension of every discussion that people have always had about like, oh, is a DJ like actually, a musician? Is like somebody that uses samples, are like hip hop artists like actual musicians because they're using samples? I feel like it's just there's always going to be a continuation of this discussion.
Well, this is the end of that conversation then.
I think
because
so. I can't think of anything beyond this.
Nothing bad happened to Dr. J started sampling or whatever, but now these things they're going to make it indifferential from real art.
Right.
And real artists are going to get screwed because they're going to be like, well, why should I even try? Because, these computer programs are putting it out in a day and nobody can fucking tell.
Right.
Or on a minute and nobody can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting though. But if I heard, just like you said with those podcasts, if I heard one of those songs on like Sirius XM or something, I'd be like, oh, it's just like some new shitty band that I'm not into.
That's right.
But
Beyond the Veil, or, like the 3 words like we were talking about the other day.
Bring Me the Horizon. Or,
yeah.
Between
the ceiling has a leak. That's 4, I think.
The ceiling has a leak. That's a good one. I like that. Thanks. It's like it represents the water coming down from the heavens, but you're also housed. You have the safety of the house.
Yeah, a little bit of safety, but not for long.
But not for yeah. Oh, I like the way you're thinking about that. It's giving me shelter vibes.
Yeah. Very good, dude.
Yeah, dude, that was great. That was a really interesting little experiment. I want to do similar things with other things. That sounds ridiculous for me to say. I want to experiment with other AI applications. Like I've done some images, but I'm not very good at it, if that makes sense. Like everything I do is like I use for the IHM covers, and they're like really crappy. But like I've seen you do some ones like with Midjourney. I just don't.
You can type in like, in Renaissance style or something, or in woodblock style. Try that.
Yeah, I think I'll try that. I'm using like some really crappy free one.
Midjourney's be it too.
Midjourney's making me pay like
$10 a month.
$10 a month. Yeah, I don't use it enough for that.
No, anyway. And I'm getting billed for that shit, just like all the fucking TV stuff.
Yeah, it's just like a subscription. Like a little bit. It's just like when you sign up to be a Patreon member for I Hate Music, you won't even know. It's $5 a month. Yeah, you won't even notice it.
Instead of Midjourney, give us $10 a month.
Yeah, 5, 10, 20, 25. You can pledge any amount you want, and you can have the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping.
Beautiful segue, bro. That was fucking great.
Dude, I'm a pro.
Yeah, you are. AI couldn't have done that, dude.
No.
AI could not.
No, not yet anyway. Not yet. Yeah. Nick, again,
pleasure.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
That was fun. That was
all
fun.
Right.
See ya.
Are you real or are you AI? I can't tell.
That would be pretty cool. Jason, Jason wouldn't even know. I'll just be like, AI at 4:15. I need you to impersonate me. Here's 2 months of podcasts. Analyze my data. Come up with my voice, and you wouldn't even know, dude.
Yeah.
He says "dude" a lot,
Dude and bro, and yeah. The last thing I want to mention about AI is: do you ever read it as Al? And
yes, all the time.
And then it makes me think of Weird Al, and then I'm like, Weird AI, Weird Al, and then
he's got to take that up and
he's got to do something with that for sure. Yeah. I'll text him later, let him know.
Weird AI.
Weird AI. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks again.
All right.
Talk to you
See
soon.
Ya. Bye.
Ciao.
An Earth in Sound production.